Hey bookworms, this is Dani Reads, and today I am doing the 4th of July tag. So for today's video, I actually have a special guest, so let's bring her in now. This is my spouse Heather, and she is going to be doing these questions with me. So like I said, I'm doing the 4th of July tag because this will be up on 4th of July, but today is July 3rd. So yeah, let's just get into
we're being very America.
These questions. Question number 1. Get patriotic. Name 3 books that you have read, one that is red, one that is white, and then one that is blue. So what I picked for my red book would be Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins.
What I picked was Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page.
So the reason I picked this is because this is my favorite book out of the Hunger Games trilogy, and it's red. No, but
the
it's
reason
my
I
favorite.
Picked mine was because there's red.
Because there's red in it. No, I really enjoy this book, and I thought the movie adaptation was the best out of all 3, so that's why I picked this one as my red book.
True, true. I picked this one because there's red. Also because it was the beginning of a series, so it made it easier to choose. And it was really good. I liked the twist on the typical, you know, Wizard of Oz, Dorothy, all that stuff, but it was a whole brand new experience of it.
So the book that I picked for the color white is Empress of the World by Sarah Ryan.
The book that I picked is Falling Up by Shel Silverstein.
So the reason I picked this book is it is a female romance. I read this 3 or 4 years ago and I really enjoyed it. I really do want to read it again. And yeah, I know it's cheating that only the border is white, but it's really good. And yeah, it's just about 2 girls who fall in love. Who doesn't want that?
I feel like that's reason enough to be able to use it. I chose this simply because I haven't read it in a while, I'm not gonna lie. I have gone back and read a few of them. Obviously they're just like the little poems and stuff like that. Read it as a kid, all of them, and I can't wait to do it again when we have little ones. But they're awesome, and they're really easy to go back to all the time.
And last but not least, for my blue, which I'm going to probably get dragged for really hard because a lot of people don't like the series.
Oh yeah.
I went with Divergent by Veronica Roth.
Alright, for my blue, I went with Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick.
So the reason I picked Divergent is because 1, obviously the cover is blue, but 2, this was a series that got me back into reading. I will forever appreciate it, and I will forever love the characters in this series. I know a lot of people think that it's problematic. I thought it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
plus, shameless plug of it being a recognizable area where it's based in Chicago.
That's true, and it's in Chicago, and we live near Chicago.
Because when I first read it, because of a recommendation, that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I picked Scrappy Little Nobody because Anna Kendrick.
Agreed. That's
what more explanation do you need? It actually is really funny. I liked all of her, like, those just like almost like behind the scenes type stuff. Like, you never really get to know celebrities and all their, you know, quirks and like that. If you like Anna Kendrick, you'll like her book.
And I did read it, so
I'll plug
my wrap up there. Number 2, name a book that has your favorite ragtag band of revolutionaries. So for that, I picked the Legend series by Marie Lu. The reason that I picked this is because June and Day, I feel like, do a really great job of taking on the government. Obviously I'm not going to spoil if it works or not, but I just feel like they were a really great duo, and yeah, I would definitely want to be on their team. That's for sure. It
was definitely different than all the regular. I mean, it's still dystopian, but it stood out from everything else. Sticking on theme, I went with The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins because it's the Hunger Games, and that's what the whole thing is about. They literally go up against the government and their way of living and say they want to be different.
Number 3. Show a book that takes place in one of the original 13 colonies. So for that, we decided to do this one jointly, and that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I enjoyed this book. She has not read the series.
Nope.
I have not read the newest series. I don't know what it's called, but I know it has Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows. Sorry, I almost took my face. But this one is based in New York City, so New York is one of the original 13 colonies. If you haven't read the series, I highly suggest you pick it up, and like a lot of people have recommended, I suggest reading them in the publication order, not read one's bulk series, and then if you wanted to go into the Infernal Devices, go into that series, read them by publication date, because it makes the story make a lot more sense. Number 4, show a book that takes place in England, you know, the ones that we won our freedom from. And let's just... Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Obviously parts of it do take place in England when, you know, Harry's chilling before he knows he's a wizard. Spoilers if you didn't know that Harry was a wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
But yeah, obviously, I feel like, I don't know, we don't own, which sounds really bad, but we don't own a lot of books that are not based in our own country, which is
yeah, we realized that as we were trying to find stuff all over these shelves.
I would love to start reading books that are based in other countries, so if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below, because I would be more than happy to pick some of those up and read them. So that is why we go to the go-to of Harry Potter.
No pressure, but this is our standard.
Yeah, I feel like I mention Harry Potter in every single video, which is fine. It's fine.
Because it's Harry Potter.
Number 5, time for fireworks. Name a book that ends with what you think ends with a bang. So for this, I picked Pivot Point by Casey West. It is the first book in a duology. I unfortunately have not read the second book, even though it did end on a really good note. And I really do want to read the second one, but it's been so long now that I would definitely have to pick up the first one. I just remember loving it. The ending, I did not see it coming. It definitely punched me in the face. So yeah, if you haven't read this, pick it up. And then the second one, I think, is called Split Second, which I will definitely be getting my hands on, hopefully soon.
I chose to go with the literal meaning. So I went with Allegiant by Veronica Roth. And
if you haven't read it,
I was like, there's spoilers if I say too much, but
it ends with
at the same time, if that spoils it for you because you haven't read it, it's been out for a long time, you can't be mad. So it literally ends with a bang. So bang.
Last but certainly not least is number 6. Show 3 books that you want to read. One in red, one in white, and one in blue. So for the red, I picked A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I started reading the Throne of Glass series, and I really enjoy the writing style, and I'm really enjoying the Throne of Glass series. I heard that the series is different and a lot better by most people's opinions. So I'm really excited to get into this at some point once I finish the Throne of Glass series.
I just realized I should have looked at the name prior to doing this. I chose The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adi?
Correct us in...
Whatever it is, you let us know.
Sorry, you can drag us, it's fine.
You said it's based in... I literally don't really know anything about it. Who said it was based in like Arabian Night? It's
a retelling of Arabian Nights where the king takes on a new wife every night, and by morning, they're dead. So this girl wants to go in and pretty much kill the king so he stops doing this stuff. So she volunteers to put herself in danger to...
Volunteers as tribute?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah.
So for the white, I chose Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I am obsessed with the Broadway show, Wicked. Obsessed with the soundtrack. So I really want to know like where the Broadway show got its inspiration from, and I actually own almost the entire series of this. I'm missing the last book, but yeah, I would definitely like to get into this to see where the inspiration came from and just get back into the world of Oz as Wicked, because it was so good. Wicked is just so good, and if it comes to your city, you need to see it. It will change your life, or just buy the soundtrack. That'll change your life too.
There you go. Alright, so I chose Every Day by David Levithan because this one is obsessed with him as an author. So I want to just finally read it. It's about someone who literally wakes up in a different body every day.
Yeah, they're a body jumper.
Yeah, so, which is already interesting enough of a premise, but isn't there, like, he has an interest and he's in love with a girl or something? As he's jumping through still with...
As they jump from body to body, they end up in a person's body who has a girlfriend, and they
Oh, that's
pretty much start to develop a relationship, and then it kind of goes from there. It gets pretty interesting, but it's really good. And if you haven't read David Love, then what are you doing? Get off my channel until you read something of his. Impressive. It's really good. But yeah, Every Day is probably one of his best books. And for the color blue, I chose The Winter's Crime by Marie Rudkowski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. I
read The Winter's Curse almost 2 years ago now.
It's Rudkowski.
That too. I read The Winter's Curse a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And at that point, this book wasn't out yet. So by the time this book came out, I kind of got into a lot more series, and continuing on with another series was just really overwhelming at that point. So I definitely want to read this, and then I own Winter's Kiss as well that I want to get to, but I think I have to reread The Winter's Curse first.
Alright, I chose a very heavy book. It's called The Gender Game by Bella Forrest. Literally based on males are in one place, females are in another place, and that main gender basically rules and dictates what goes on their side. So if they do get married, like they can, like a female can go over to the men's side and live there, but they're completely subservient. And I'm assuming some stuff is going to go down to where people want things to change. It's usually how that kind of stuff is. Everything's this way and no one really likes it, and eventually something happens. So I'm very intrigued, very interested in what could possibly happen with that. Alright guys, so that was the 4th of July tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below with what your answers would be, and if you haven't done this... And correct us on the pronunciation. Yeah, correct us on the pronunciation of that name. And then, I was going to say something else. Oh, if you haven't done this tag already, I tag you to do it. Yeah. This was created last year. I will put the original video down below. I can't, for the life of me, think of who created it, so I'm sorry. And yeah, so I will thank you for joining me for Tag Tuesday, and I will see you guys in my next video. Keep reading, keep smiling. Bye guys.